It's the stuff of legend.
A crime so perfectly orchestrated, so methodically executed, that even the world's most advanced security systems and some of the most
seasoned detectives were left utterly baffled. In February 2003, in the heart of Belgium's Diamond District,
a group of professional thieves pulled off what would come to be known as the heist of the century.
there were no guns.
No hostages, no dramatic car chases.
Instead, this was a crime of elegance, planning, deception, and precision. Today,
We unravel the story behind the Antwerp Diamond Heist, a tale of trust betrayed.
high-tech subversion, and millions in stolen gems that vanished without a trace.
Welcome back to Crimes Through Time, where history meets mystery.
Our story begins in the city of Antwerp.
Belgium, known globally as the diamond capital of the world.
In the heart of this glittering district sits the Antwerp Diamond Center, a seemingly impenetrable fortress built to guard billions in precious stones,
Gold and cash.
beneath this building to stories. Underground was its most guarded.
Asset, a state-of-the-art vault.
This was no ordinary safe. The vault was protected by
Motion detectors, heat and infrared sensors, magnetic field detectors,
Doppler radar, a steel door weighing over 3,000 pounds.
and a vault lock with 100 million possible combinations. This wasn't just high security, it was thought to be unbreachable.
But that illusion would soon shatter. Enter Leonardo Notarbartolo, an unassuming Italian man in his late 40s. He dressed sharply,
Spoke confidently, and presented himself as a legitimate diamond dealer.
For over 2 years, Leonardo maintained this disguise, renting office space in the Diamond Center itself, attending social events, and building trust with other traders. What nobody realized,
Leonardo was a career criminal, and this entire life he built in Antwerp was an illusion. He wasn't alone either. Behind him was a tight-knit crew of criminal experts for men,
each with a specialty. They were nicknamed the School of Turin, and together,
they formed one of the most efficient heist crews Europe had ever seen.
the genius and electronics,
Wizard capable of disabling the most sophisticated alarms.
the monster the muscle, skilled in brute force and hauling heavy equipment. The King of Keys A, locksmith and forgery expert who could replicate almost any key.
The Shade, a stealth operative who could navigate cameras and sensors undetected.
Together with Leonardo, this group was about to attempt the impossible. For months, they planned, obsessing over every detail. Leonardo secretly took photos inside the building using a miniature.
Camera hidden inside a pen. These photos allowed the genius to study the vault's wiring, systems, and alarm layouts in secret.
Meanwhile, the King of Keys managed to forge a replica of the vault key.
Something that was supposedly impossible.
Their tools and gadgets smuggled into the building in pizza boxes over multiple visits. Every step was calculated.
They even tested their plan in a mock-up.
Vault built in an abandoned warehouse to practice every move.
By the time February 15, 2003 arrived, they were ready.
It was a weekend. The Diamond Center was closed, and that's when they made their move. Under the cover of darkness, Leonardo and his team entered the building.
Security footage would later show nothing. Why? Because the Shade had looped the CCTV cameras, ensuring their every move was invisible.
Inside the vault corridor, they used
Double-sided tape to block magnetic sensors, hairspray to blind the infrared detectors, a plastic panel to disable a final internal sensor, and careful slow movements to avoid motion detection. They worked in total darkness, silently, smoothly. Eventually,
they opened the massive steel vault door with their forged
key and stepped into the Diamond Sanctuary.
one by one.
They emptied 123 out of 160 safe deposit boxes, removing loose diamonds, polished gems, stacks of currency,
Gold bars.
and confidential documents. By the time they left, they had stolen over $100 million USD in valuables, and then just like that they vanished. For a few days, it seemed like the perfect crime had gone completely unnoticed.
The vault wasn't even discovered open until Monday morning.
When Diamond Center staff returned, there were no signs of forced entry.
No security alarms had gone off,
Belgian authorities were stunned.
but the perfection didn't last long.
Leonardo and his crew had planned to destroy all evidence in a forested area outside Antwerp.
However, one of the gang members, overwhelmed with panic, dumped a garbage bag of evidence,
Behind a property Leonardo had rented, and fate intervened
A local landowner, curious about the trash left on his land, opened the bag.
and found shredded documents, receipts, empty jewel cases, and even an envelope marked Antwerp Diamond Center.
He turned it in. Forensic investigators quickly connected the evidence to Leonardo. Just days later, he was arrested. Leonardo Notarbartolo was tried and convicted in 2005.
He received a 10-year prison sentence. But here's where the story gets strange again. To this day, authorities have never recovered the stolen diamonds.
The other crew members were never officially identified or caught, and Leonardo himself,
he claimed in interviews that the whole heist was part of an insurance scam. He said they were set up, that an insider promised access to high-value
boxes but only let them walk away with far less than they expected. According to him, the real crime was deeper than anyone knew.
Authorities, of course, dismissed that claim.
But it raised a lingering question.
Was this really just a heist, or was it a cover-up for something far more elaborate?
Regardless of the truth, the Antwerp Diamond Heist remains one of the most impressive criminal operations in modern history. It wasn't about violence or chaos.
There were no alarms triggered, no injuries, and no shootouts. It was a heist that succeeded through long-term strategy, social engineering, and technical mastery.
A story that continues to fascinate detectives, journalists, and crime lovers across the globe. And perhaps most intriguingly, most of the loot is still missing.
Somewhere out there, in vaults or underwood markets, the spoils of the heist of the century remain hidden. If you found this story fascinating,
make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because here on Crimes Through Time,
we explore a new historical crime every single week. And tell us in the comments,
was this the smartest heist ever pulled?
Or just a lucky escape that almost fell apart?
Either way, the Antwerp Diamond Heist proves that even the most secure fortresses can fall to the right plan.